y'all, I'm Brenda with Blessings and Bread. Welcome to my kitchen. Tonight I'm going to share with you a recipe that I'm making for supper, and it's all made in one pan. I'm going to be making tonight sheet pan shrimp boil. And I hope you'll come along with me and enjoy seeing how easy it is to make this recipe. It's very delicious, it's easy to make, and it's ready in about 30 minutes. So come along with me while I make supper. Tonight I'm going to be using my sheet pan to make this entire meal. This is the only pan I'm going to have to use. And you can see this, I've had this pan a while and it's been used well. Tonight we're going to start with just by putting a little olive oil onto the pan. And I want to get a pretty good coating on there so things won't stick. Then I'm just going to use my hand to rub it around, to smear it around so that the pan is really coated well in olive oil. Now I'm going to set this aside just for a minute while I prepare my first ingredient. This recipe really only uses about 4 ingredients. First, I have about a pound of baby red potatoes that I've cut in half. I have about, let's see, how much was the weight on this? This is 14 ounces of andouille sausage, and I've cut that in half. I've sliced it and then cut that in half. Then I have 6 ears of corn. Baby corn, 6 ears of baby corn that I cooked a little bit in the microwave just so it would thaw out enough that I could cut them in half, just because I like the pieces to be smaller in this dish. And finally, I have about a pound of shrimp. Now you can use ever how much of any of these ingredients that you want, basically. I kind of count out the amount of shrimp we're gonna use, and then this was frozen shrimp, raw shrimp that I just bought at Sam's. It was frozen. I put it in this bowl, ran water over it till it was thawed out, and then I took paper towels and dried it off and drained it on a paper towel, and then made sure it was good and dry so the spices won't stick to it. So we're going to start with our potatoes, and I'm going to use a little bit more olive oil on the potatoes, and this will help the spices to stick to the potatoes. So I'm just going to toss those to get them covered in oil. And then I'm using Old Bay seasoning. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on there. I do not measure on this recipe. You can try it and figure out how much of that you like. And then I'm also going to use this is some blackened seasoning as well. So I'm just going to shake a little bit. I don't do a lot of blackened seasoning because I'm going to be adding it to each of the ingredients as I go. And then a little bit of sea salt. And finally, a little bit of coarse black pepper. Now, once I'm going to toss that so that the potatoes kind of get covered in those spices and seasonings, and then I'm just going to spread them out onto the cookie sheet or the sheet pan. All right, these will go into a 400-degree oven, and I'm going to cook them for about 10 minutes. Now, they won't be done in 10 minutes, but in 10 minutes is when we'll take it out, and then we'll add our next ingredient. So the potatoes need to cook a little longer than the other ingredients, so they go in first. The potatoes have been cooking for 10 minutes, so now I'm going to add 2 more ingredients. I'm going to add the sausage and the corn, but I'm going to do the same thing to the corn and the sausage that I did the potatoes. And so just a little oil on the sausages. Well, I keep knocking them out of the bowl. But just a little bit of oil and the corn so that the spices will stick to them. Now, again, the corn, I always, if I did mention it before, I always thaw this out a little bit in the refrigerator or in the microwave, so that then I can cut them in smaller pieces and all. And then I'm just using, this is the Blackened seasoning, and then a little Old Bay seasoning. And you don't need a lot. Oh, basically, you can do it ever how you like, I suppose, how much you like. But we just do a little bit at our house because you're going to put that seasoning on each of the ingredients, so it carries well throughout the dish. So then we're just going to take the pan, which is hot, out of the oven. Still hot. And then I'm going to add the sausage, and I'm going to add the corn. And then I'm just going to spread that out on the pan so that basically it's just one layer. Now I'm going to put this back in the oven for 10 more minutes. All right, so it's going back in the oven for 10 minutes, and then we'll do our final ingredient, which is the shrimp. The final ingredient that I'm going to add now is my shrimp. And when I season the shrimp, I'm just going to put just a little bit of olive oil, just a little bit, because stir those around so that they all kind of get coated with the olive oil. Then I'm going to add the seasoning. First, the Old Bay seasoning. And I'm probably going to do a little more Old Bay seasoning on the shrimp than I do the other ingredients. And some blackened seasoning. A little salt. And a little black pepper. I'm going to add this to the sheet pan and spread it out so that it's mostly in one layer. Try to get shrimp down in there. Now, this time, I'm only going to cook this time for 7 minutes. And then after 7 minutes, I will test the shrimp. But usually the shrimp only takes about 7 minutes at 400 degrees. And when that shrimp is done, this meal is ready to eat. Oh, one more in the pan. So I'm going to put this back in the oven for 7 minutes. And that's all there is to making this super easy sheet pan shrimp boil. And it's very delicious. It's great for a weeknight, or even for if you're having guests over. This would even make a great meal for them. I actually had some fresh cabbage out of my garden, so I even made a little coleslaw to go with this, but normally we eat strictly just this one pan. Everything's cooked in the same pan. I don't even plate it into a different bowl. We just eat it off of the sheet pan, and then we have that one pan for cleanup. So this is a super easy, delicious meal that you can make during the week that takes not more than 30 minutes to make and 10 minutes to clean up. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you the next time I'm on my porch, in my kitchen, or in my garden.